You can see in Hanoi, in addition to many famous village sites, visitors may feel that it is so interesting to witness the flag raising and lowering ceremony at the 6 a.m. and 9 p.m. every day at the Bathing Square. Yes, and yeah, the flag hoist ceremony at the Bathing Square is the national rituals of Vietnam, which is performed every day at 6 a.m. In front of Ho Chi Minh Mausoleum. Yeah, the flag hoist group starts moving from behind the mausoleum, and then taking the lead is the soldier who holds the military flag, followed by 34 soldiers representing the first 34 soldiers of Vietnam People's Army. The soldiers walk to the melody of the song, move under military flag to the flagpole. When three soldiers move to the flagpole, yeah, to prepare the hoist ritual. Yes, the door of the memorial place, yeah, of mausoleum open. Yes, and after that, after the signal, the flag comes out and flies out, yeah, to the top of the flagpole. Yes, and follow the melody of the national anthem. You can see, yeah, you can hear before. Yes, it's the special national anthem of Vietnam. The flag is hoisted to the 29-meter height at the top of the flagpole. At 9 p.m., the flag will be lowered. We will happen the lowering of flag rope lowering ceremony. Yes, this is the parade of the 34 soldiers. Yeah, walk along the alley. Yes. At 9 p.m., the lowering ceremony is performed similarly. Earlier, loudspeakers will begin asking people to stop all activity and focus on the ritual, the special ritual of Vietnam, like lowering ceremony and raising ceremony in the morning. Yes, and to prepare for ceremony. And you can see a lot of people here in the early morning. Yeah, they come and enjoy the ritual. Yeah, every morning many people come here to take exercise, and of course all the elderly, children and foreigners come here as well. Yes, and after lowering the flag at the top, the flag is folded and ritual is finished. Yes, and now you can see this is the parade of 34 soldiers wear the white uniforms. They will parade around the alley here, the avenue, yeah, before the Ho Chi Minh Mausoleum. Yeah, it is a special historical site of Hanoi, and now we're here to enjoy it. So, do you think we need some regulations to when we come here? Yeah, when we visiting Ho Chi Minh Mausoleum, you should pay attention to open time as well as the most basic regulations to facilitate the visit. It's so necessary, right? The first, you need to wear conscious clothes, and of course, they are not to be short like this. We need to wear the long clothes with the long sleeves. Maybe it's so gorgeous, so polite. And the second, yeah, we need to have a gentle and polite attitude because we need to keep quiet when the ritual happening. Yes, and the third, as a finally, the children about 3 years old are allowed to enter Ho Chi Minh Mausoleum. You know, if they below 3 years old, maybe they will cry here, but since to cry then it's not good for the ritual. Yeah, it can affect a lot. And of course, many people, many foreigners don't know. Yeah, it's like open time of Ho Chi Minh Mausoleum to enjoy it. So I want to suggest you the information about opening time and close time. Opening time on Tuesdays, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday every week. We will separate to hot season and dry season and cold season. So yes, hot season, yeah, it's from time to open the mausoleum is from 7:30 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. on Saturday, Sunday, and public holidays from about 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. Yes, and in the cold season, time for opening is 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. and Saturdays and Sundays and public holidays from 8 a.m. to 11:30 p.m. Uncle Ho's birthday on May 19th and National Day on September 2nd and the first of the Lunar New Year, yeah, in the Tet holiday, is coincide on Monday and Friday will be still be held in the President Ho Chi Minh Mausoleum here. Yes, and I hope this information will helpful for you to take a short trip, yeah, by your own to arrange to visit Ho Chi Minh Mausoleum, and you can enjoy the special ritual in the early morning. This is the flag raising and lowering ceremony in the morning and in the evening. So I will suggest you the address of this Ho Chi Minh Mausoleum, located on Ngọc Hà, Ba Đinh, Hanoi. Yes. How do you get there? So I want to suggest you this is have many ways to suggest to come here. You can walk on foot if you live near here. If you live far from here, you can take a taxi or take a bus. You can take a bus number 9, yeah, number 9 to come here and enjoy in the early morning. But I hope you can enjoy it in the future. It's very good, and yeah, you can see, yeah, Hanoi is the heart of our Asian country, and I hope, yeah, you have time and yeah, you can enjoy it by your own. It's okay. Thank you and good luck.
Well, everyone, after we watching the flag rising ceremony, now I want you and me together. We travel back to 72 years ago. We will see in the same place right here. We're happening a very special event. In the 2nd of September in 1945, the Ho Chi Minh president, he will reading the declarations of independence to giving birth to democratic. At that time, Vietnam became the first Southeast Asian democratic state. Ba Đinh Square could be seen as a political and historical heart of the modern Vietnam, thanks to its past historical roles and its location in Ho Chi Minh complex. And nowadays, the square has a length of 320 meters and the width of 100 meters, which is nearly 1/7 of the area of the Tiananmen Square in Beijing, and they're capable of accommodating 1 million people at maximum. Ba Đinh Square, located to the west of the Hanoi Old City Gates. Until the early 20th century, Ba Đinh Square was a space with the abandoned ground with the new level ponds. And the French had built here a garden, and they named the garden is Pouginier Royal Pounds, also known as the Round Square or Pouginier Flower Gardens. The Pouginier is the name of a prize. And after the successful of August revolutions, President Ho Chi Minh read the Declaration of Independence, proclaiming the birth of the Democratic Republic of Vietnam, now known as the Social Republic of Vietnam, at right here, Ba Dinh Square. That speech of Ho Chi Minh made a headline around the world. However, the square was not named Ba Dinh Square on the 2nd of September in 1945. The name Ba Dinh Flower Garden was actually named in lieu of the old name, Round Point Pouginier, by Dr. Trần Văn Lai, who was Hanoi mayor under the Trần Trọng Kim administrations. Just in the short term, from July 20 to August 19 in 1945, when the administration belonged to the people's hands, Mayor Trần Văn Lai renamed a lot of places and streets of Hanoi from French name to the name of national heroes and celebrities. The name Ba Dinh was given to commemorate the uprising against France of Đinh Công Tráng and Phạm Bằng insurgents in Ba Dinh area of Nga Sơn district, Thanh Hóa province from 1886 to 1887. Many venue choices were made for a grand meeting on 2nd of September in 1945, but finally Ba Dinh Garden was selected, become Ba Dinh Square right now, and Ba Dinh Square was later called Independence Square. While the French temporarily occupied Hanoi from 1947 to 1954, the Independence Square was renamed Hồng Bàng Garden. In 1954, the Vietnamese army took over the capitals and the name Ba Dinh Square was restored. In the proximity of the square, the Governor Palace became the Presidential Palace. And afterwards, there were many opinions on renaming the name Ba Dinh Square to Independence Square or the 2nd of September Square to show closer link to the event on the birth of the Democratic Republic of Vietnam. But finally, the President Ho Chi Minh kept the name Ba Dinh because of the historical and the universal significance. After 1954, a series of additional projects were built around Ba Dinh Square, featuring the old colonial architectures. They include the Ba Dinh Hall, completed in 1963 over there, and Ho Chi Minh Mausoleum in the center of the square was completed in 1975, and Ho Chi Minh Museum was completed in 1990s. It's located over there. And finally, the monument to heroic martyrs in 1994. It is opposite us right now. The monument to heroic martyrs in 1994. Additionally, Ba Dinh Square architecture's complex also had a number of the smaller projects, such as the One Pillar Pagoda and the Uncle Ho Still House area in the Presidential Palace. And after the Ba Dinh Square, we will move to that. Well, everyone, Ba Dinh Square witnessed a lot of national important historical events. At this square, on the 2nd of September in 1945, our beloved President Ho Chi Minh with the Declaration of Independence to a crowd of 500,000 Vietnamese people to give a birth to the Democratic Republic of Vietnam. Now the name is the Socialist Republic of Vietnam. That was a historical and happy moment for Vietnamese to cheer up the nation's independence and unity, ending the French colonial dominations of nearly 100 years and the Japanese cruel fascism of almost 5 years. Also at this square, the funeral of Ho Chi Minh president was organized in 24 years later. In 1969, the international delegate and the Vietnamese gathered here to mourn and cry to send our Uncle Ho, the great leader, our beloved father. And then this square was chosen by empowered Vietnamese government as a sign to construct Ho Chi Minh Mausoleum as the final resting place of the President Ho Chi Minh, so that the great father of Vietnamese people, can be forever remembered. And in 1990, on the occasion of the 100th Ho Chi Minh birthday anniversary, another historical architectural structure was also built next to the Ba Dinh Square, Ho Chi Minh Museum. This work also contributes to the complex architectural complex of Ho Chi Minh. Thus, Ba Dinh Square previously had a valuable value as a glorious place. More than a half a century, the complex had Ba Dinh Home, Ho Chi Minh Mausoleum, Ho Chi Minh Museum, the Revolutionary Martyr Memorial, and other historical and revolutionary sites become a familiar and sacred name, which was not only a pride of the people of the capital, but also a general pride and the glory for the people of the country.
Well, everyone, now walking a few steps, we will pass by the Presidential Palace, voted by United States Magazine Architecture Research into the top 13 most beautiful palaces in the world. The Presidential Palace is one of the most attractive parts of Ho Chi Minh Relic, located in the north of Ho Chi Minh Mausoleum. First of all, I'd like to talk about the history of the Presidential Palace. In the early 1900s, the French had completed their power grip on the areas of Indochina, which nowadays Laos, Cambodia, and Vietnam. The building was designed by a French architect, Charles Lichtenfelder, and was built in 6 years from 1900 to 1906 under the rules of French colonial. The building was named Indochina Governor Palace as a working place of French governors. There had been 29 general governors living in this palace until the Communist Revolution in 1945. The building really belonged to the people of Vietnam after the war against the French had succeeded. Hanoi was liberated in 19. The building was renamed the Presidential Palace. Here, President Ho Chi Minh often chaired the councils of minister meeting decided the big issue of national importance. In 50 years, from 1954 to 1969, he welcomed more than 1,000 domestic and international delegations. However, President Ho Chi Minh refused to live in this palace. He said that it was totally unsuitable for his poor and starving people. So he just stayed in a small house in this garden, and after a few minutes we visited. So what about its structure and feature which make it become one of the most beautiful palaces in the world and most attractive parts of Hanoi? With a design of 4 floors, 36 rooms and cover 1,300 square meters. The building has a special French architecture. And do you know why the building has only 4 floors but it took 6 years to be built? The reason is all material on this project were brought from France and other European countries in order to make sure that the building can prove the French power in Indochina. As you can see from here, the building was painted in the mustache yellow. Have you ever wondered why does the French choose this color? Generally, French building in Hanoi was mostly painted in yellow. It makes the building to be outstanding in the green garden. However, another explanation in the feudalism. Yellow was considered a brown color, which was used by royal family. So when the French came to Vietnam, they wanted to choose this color to tell the local people about their position was as high as a king. Up to now, the Presidential Palace is still a working place of president. Many activities and events of government are still carried out here. But the building isn't open for public, so we can go inside to visit, but you can go around and enjoy view of it.
visit some small building, beautiful garden and fish pond. Now follow me and visit them.
Well, everyone, in front of you now is one of the places that Ho Chi Minh State would reflect his symbolize and precious characters. In 1945, when Vietnam again had independence, it's what we call the Presidential Palace. Although alcohol was supposed to live and work, he refused to live in this luxurious building. In 1954, Ho Chi Minh came back to Hanoi and just stayed at a small house in this garden, refusing to live in the presidential palace. President Ho Chi Minh lived in a normal electrician house nearby. President Ho Chi Minh lived and worked at this house in December 1954. So, this house is called the house 1954. He lived and worked in this house for 4 years, from December 1954 through May 1958. Later, President Ho Chi Minh moved to the steel house, which was built in this presidential garden on the other side of the board. Having an idea that this small and simple house wasn't suitable for a president, so Vietnamese government decided to build his own house. In 1958, the house on steel was completed. Uncle moved to live and work there, but he stayed back to this house every day for lunch, dinner, and personal desires. Ho Chi Minh had a very simple life. Most of the house facilities such as fans, radio, and so on was a gift from people all over the world. He never got married, so sometimes he was so lonely in the late afternoon. When everyone back home, the radio was turned on time until Uncle Ho went to bed. He said he needed to hear voice human around to warm him up. And the house 54 is a blade attack to the daily life of President Ho Chi Minh during the last 15 years. This house is 3 rooms, you can see, including workroom, dining room, and bedroom. The front of hall is the working room and also the reception area. And in the middle is a dining room and the right is a bedroom. On the left side is how is small gallery. You can see in the small gallery it's like exhibiting 3 cars that were used by President Ho Chi Minh. And the first is a propeller. It's at the middle. A prison from Soviet Union government in 1955, and the next Helvet, a present from French Vietnamese people in 1964, and the last this is the short name is a silent. You can see the car is biggest. Now you can see on the left side of this house is small gallery displaying 3 cars that were used by President Ho Chi Minh. Is the propeller at the middle is a present from Soviet Union government in 1955. And you can see the period is a present from the French Vietnamese people in 1964. And the last you can see the biggest one on the left is the short name of steering is also the name is this. Once someone asked him to replace this old and outdated car with the modern ones, but he refused. He said they are good and they are within from his friend nothing can be compared. All of his stock along the coast, the souvenir of international friend donated to President Ho Chi Minh remains the same and arranged neatly. At the dining room, you can see President Ho Chi Minh. They displaced a table of his daily food. His daily meal is only few dishes. In the bedroom, the stuff of him is very simple, like all of these people such as a set of a table and chair for him to read at night. In the closet, there are only a few sets of clothes as khaki clothes. Now, and the house of President Ho Chi Minh lived in the early years of Hanoi capital is a testimony to the home life, communist life of President Ho Chi Minh people. He shared with the people the struggle, the difficulties and encouragement. His activity at the small house reflects the lifestyle, the spirit of determination to strive for the progress, life and happiness of the people in the future. You can see the small around.
Only 30 seconds walking from the whole city hall, we will come to Fishbone. You can see here, this Fishbone came up with Ho Chi Minh Week. He said, as for myself, I acquired a small house next to green mountain and blue water to fish and grow vegetables and nothing to do with them and work. This Fishbone was firstly grew by Uncle Ho. Every day after 4 p.m., he took a break by feeding his fish. He always came on time and clapping his hands. So this fish quickly learned a habit and come up on the water. Surrounding the fish pond, you can see a lot kind of trees, and the most interesting trees here you can see it has sodium. This plant belongs to the coniferous family, and the native plant of this plant is South America's one. Because the shape of this root like the wooden Buddha statues, so the President Ho Chi Minh called it his woodmok. In order to adapt the living conditions, this root had to raise up to take the air. Long after his death, the fish still keeps its habit. However, it disappeared because there are many tourists and visitors nowadays who clapping their hands at any time. Many young fish and trees in this garden were delivered to many farmers and launch a movement in the sea, a combination of the garden, fish pond, and breeding. Opposite to the fish pond, there is a tree. Its name is Patent Banyan tree. When Ho Chi Minh's alive, there is a fruit growing on the other side of the bridge, from the through hole to the two-thirds of the body. The gardener tried to cut off the tree, but President Ho Chi Minh guided them how to save the tree from dying and growing normally. He always observed, trees as well as people, if you know how and have merit to treat, is still well developed. In 1977, the tree fell down due to a major storm, and in that time, the public official had sought to preserve the stem of the tree to remember the legend of President Ho Chi Minh.
Hello everyone, I'm Tom, and as you can see, opposite to the fish pond is mango road. This road is 5 meters wide and 200 meters length. Do you know why this road called is mango road? Because as you can see over there, along the side of this tree, there's many kinds of mango trees. In the past, our great president is asked for the soldiers try to find as many as they can to tree come here to grow it up. And now we have many around this area. This road is also the way to the West Coast and presidential palace over there. This road is the place Ho Chi Minh president often worked around here in the morning, and after he finished his job, he also come here to working around here to take a rest and enjoy the fresh air. The roads have many memories and touching, beautiful memory and touching about the Ho Chi Minh between Ho Chi Minh resident with the soldier and heroic celebration in the south. In this road is a meeting about Ho Chi Minh president with the heroic declaration on 15 November 1965. This road, I can say that it is so beautiful that it has become the inspiration for the poetry of the Tố Hữu poet. If you have a chance to come here, take as many photos as you can. Thank you so much for the.
Hello everybody, my name is Tu and I'm very honored to guiding all of you on this trip. Where am I standing now is one of the most meaningful places. Not only has many historical significance, but also has architectural feature of the national cultural identity of Vietnam. That is Ho Chi Minh House on the Still, where he lived in last 11 years of his life. After nearly 4 years of the healing the war destruction, recovering economy in the north, people living standard was improved and the society gradually came into stability and development. The Vietnamese Communist Party and the Ministry of Politics expect build a new house for Uncle Ho. Uncle Ho agreed with this expectation and he want to have one similar to steel house in the northern mountainous area. At this house, he would remind of the place where he has worked for the Vietnamese Revolution preparation, receive caring support and the protection from all local people. Uncle Ho discussed directly with architecture Nguyễn Văn Ninh about the house design. According to the original architecture, there was no cement bench or fish tank, but the Uncle Ho, however, then suggest adding them as a space for children play around if they come. And the house was complete on 17 May 1958 as a meaningful present for his 68th birthday. After the house was complete, the Uncle Ho moved to live and work in there, but they still came back to the house 54 when they had a dinner, lunch or personal hygiene. At this house, Uncle Ho spent day and night with Politburo to complete the strategy for Vietnamese Revolution and leading the Vietnamese people overcome to the difficulty and challenge of the world. The house is made up by a solid wood. It's a common wood in a civil construction, and it was made and is located on an area in a botanical garden, which established in the French domination. And it came up with the Ho Chi Minh wish. As for myself, I would like a small house next to green mountain and blue water to raise a feed and grow the vegetable without the fame and wheat. Trees from this garden from all over the whole country, and lot of the tree is the garden was a present from all local people and the foreigner for the Uncle Ho, and some of them was brought by himself when he had a business trip abroad in 1973. After hearing the construction of the Ho Chi Minh Memorial Site project in Hanoi, all province in Vietnam provides trees to the garden of this. There are many trees and flowers in this garden, such as pomelo, star apple, and many kinds of the flowers, such as jasmine, hibiscus, etc. And many of the trees, such as bamboo. Where am I standing now is the ground floor. Ground floor was used as a meeting place of Uncle Ho and his fellow of the Ministry of Politics and also of the Army Operation Headquarters. There is a cement bench. According to the original architecture, there was no cement bench. But Uncle Ho ordered to build a cement bench for his little friend, a kids. If they come to visit Uncle Ho, they sit there and play around with Uncle Ho. Upstairs, there were bedroom and studying room. The equipment in each room are very simple, and the prison in each rooms as a prison from his friend all over the world. In the last 10 days of his life, the Uncle Ho was getting quickly tired and couldn't walk upstairs. He moved to the ground house next to and passed away from there. The clock still keep running in the second floor. It's for the Vietnamese visitor as if the grandfather still alive and with the people in Vietnam.
Everybody, my name is Hạnh and now I will continue with you go to the last part of our journey today. This is the house number 67. Located the President Ho Chi Minh Relic site. House number 67 was named after the 1967 when it was built, in which the beloved President worked and passed away. It's also a meeting venue for the Filipino during the war. The house number 67 is located behind the steel house with a 60 cm thin width and over a meter thin ceiling made of reinforced concrete. This was where President Ho Chi Minh met the Politburo member from 1967 to 1969. It was also the house where the president was shot and passed away. The house was completed on 20th of July in 1967 after the First Air War destruction of the American imperialists. Uncle Ho agreed to move down to work here according to the Politburo member. This is also the place where Uncle Ho met the Politburo member and made important decisions regarding economic situation in the North. The first meeting of the Politburo held here was to hear complete talk report on the progress of the Paris Conference and send some friend painting to the Uncle Ho at the same time. The Politburo were in the meeting. The enemy plane come to bomb Hanoi. Uncle Văn Tiến and comrade called phone to mobilize and military units and military in Hanoi to shoot down U.S. aircraft. In 1969, Uncle Ho health became worse, but he still worked as normal. On the occasion of the Communist Party 39th anniversary, in this house, Uncle Ho worked on ethical attitude, improving revolutionary ethics, whipping out individualism. This is the last article that Uncle Ho worked in Nhân dân newspaper. On 17 August in 1969, according to the periodic check-up house calendar, the doctor checked his health and discovered that his heart of Uncle Ho were abnormal. After that, Uncle Ho was recommended not to climb into the steel house and he agreed to move to the house number 67. On 24th of August in 1969, his house became more complicated. That night, a sudden heart attack made Uncle Ho feel tired. From 25 years old in 1969, the house number 67 became the healing house of him. In spite of his poor health condition, Uncle still discussed with the police bureau to find out the way to solve the flood problem, to make sure that the city won't be flooded. When Comrade Phạm Văn Đồng visit Uncle Hồ at the hospital bed and report the good news about the flood, he is my guardian and certified. He remind Phạm Văn Đồng Comrade, you remember to set up fireworks to cheering our people. I will try to meet Biel for 10 minutes, but he didn't attend the National Day with his compatriots, at which he passed away at 9:45 on the 2nd of September in 1969. On the day he read the Declaration of Independence, giving birth to the Democratic Republic of Vietnam 24 years ago.
Hello.
On the behalf of the team number 3, thanks for spending your morning today with us. Today we have a great time to explore the Ho Chi Minh complex. And the last thing I want to share with you is see you next time and goodbye.
See you next time and goodbye.